Hello there, third graders. 7.9, that's our lesson today, and we need your math journal open right away to page 240. And I would like for you to complete the math message here. So look at this. The whole is the distance from 0 to 1. I want you to label 1/2 where you think it should go on the number line, and then you'll be sharing your thinking. So draw a dot somewhere on this line where you think is worth 1/2. Now, I want you to tell me where you put your dot. And now, why did you put it there? All right. So, as we think through this, right, we have to label 1/2. And so we want our number line to count by halves because we're supposed to label 1/2. Now, if you can remember with our jumps, remember how we divided this number line by making jumps? We always start at the 0 and we always end, do you remember? We stop jumping at the 1 and we try to do equal jumps. How many jumps are we going to do? We're going to do 2. Why 2? Because we have to label 1/2. See the 2 as the denominator? That's going to tell us how many pieces to cut our number line into. Think about it in circles also in pizza. That if you ate 1/2, you cut your pizza into 2 equal parts and then you ate one of them. We want to cut this whole from 0 to 1 into equal parts. And so here we go. 1, 2. How'd I do? I did pretty well. So the dot for half should be right here. Halfway. Go ahead and label it. Halfway in between 0 or 1. And if you didn't put it in the right place, that's okay. Go ahead and put it there now. Now, let's talk about the other ones, the other number lines that you see. So on number 1, we'll talk about number 1 first. Excuse me. So if we have, let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Well, let's see. So if we have one hole here, so how many holes do you see on this number line? I see 3, right? It goes up to 3. And if we were going to put the number 1/2, well, let's look at how we would do this. Okay. Notice that the length of this number line, it's the same distance from here to here and from here to here and on the one on the last page. But you can see that this is bigger than the last one, but smaller than the other one. So what we're just saying here is that we're kind of shrinking and enlarging this number line. But the key thing that we have to pay attention to is where is the 1? Because that's the place where we stop jumping. So let's label 1/2 on this number line. Ready? So 1/2. So 2 parts. 1, 2. So 1/2 would go right here. Now, another way to write 1 whole is 2 halves. So here's a question for you. What would be right here at this part? Yeah, this would be 3 halves. 3 halves, or 1 1/2. If you said that, that would be correct too. When we talk about 1 1/2, it's called a mixed number. We haven't really gone there yet, but you will later, and certainly in 4th grade. So we can count by halves: 3 halves, 4 halves, or 2 whole, right? Because 4 divided by 2 is 2. 5 halves, or 2 1/2, and 6 halves. All right. On number 2, the first thing I want you to do is to label, use what we've learned, right? I want you to put a dot where 1/2 is. Yeah, if you were listening and focusing, you knew to do 2 jumps. Those aren't very good because they're not very equal. Let's try to make them as equal as we can. It's kind of hard on the screen. That's better. And so we're going to label our dot here It's not a very good dot, but you know where it should be, 1/2. Okay. And so even though, look, we have this one goes up to 6 and this one goes up to 3. So that changes the sizes of our jumps. But when we're figuring out where things are on a number line, we have to start by focusing between 0 and 1. Because then if I asked you, well, where is 9/2? Now you know what it should look like, right? So 3/2, 4/2, 5/2, 6/2, 7/2, 8/2, 9/2. This would be 9/2. See, once you get that those first jumps done, right? That first part of this first unit cut into 2 pieces, or whatever kind of pieces that we're supposed to be cutting, then you can figure out the rest pretty easily. And some of my jumps are kind of ugly there, but they should be just like these first 2. All right, here's the objective and the standard today. We're looking at being able to locate fractions on number lines. Yeah, like what if there's not spaces to write them? Where would they go? And it goes right with our standard here to represent a fraction on a number line by marking off lengths. All right, so you can see the connection here. Let's see, we just did number 2, so we don't need to do that again. Here we are in Math Journal page 241. So turn the page there with me. And it says that the directions, the hole on the number lines is given below is the distance between 0 and 1. Partition, split up each number line and locate and then label the fractions, the given fraction. Hint, on some number lines, there is more than one hole. Oh, I see that down at the bottom. So Mr. White is going to do one of these for you, and then we'll do one together. So I am going to take, let's see, I'm going to take number 3 here. I'm going to do 3/4. And so on our last number line, we did jumps like this, right? We did 2 jumps, but we're not going to do 2 jumps on this one because we're not trying to find 1/2. We're trying to find 3/4. The number on the bottom tells us how many pieces to split it up into, right? If you had 3/4, you would split your pizza into 4 pieces and then shade 3 of them. Well, we're going to do 4 jumps on this number line because we need to split this into 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. How'd I do? I think I could do better. You can do this with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, look at that. Now I have 4 pieces. What do I mean pieces of the number line? Well, look, here's a piece from here to here. There's one piece. That's 1/4. And then another 4th from here to here. So now I'm up to 2/4. And then another piece from here to here. Now I'm up to 3/4. That's the one I'm going to label here in a minute. And then one last piece from here to here. See how I split this hole into 4 pieces? Just like you split this into 4 pieces. It's the same. It's just smashed down into one number line. So where was 3/4? It was right here. Put a dot and label it 3/4. All right, with me, you are going to do number 2. So look at the fraction 2/6, and I want you to tell me how many jumps do we need to do? We need to do 6 jumps. Explain why do we need to do 6 jumps? We need to do 6 jumps for 2 reasons. One is that the denominator is a 6. And the second is that that denominator tells us we need to break this line into 6 pieces. All right, go ahead and try doing 6 jumps. Try to make them the same jumps, right? If you do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're like, 6. No, that's not fractions, right? Fractions have to have equal parts. So you might have to erase. Give that a try. All right, let's see how well I can do it. Ready? Oh, and that's already too big. I can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not that bad. Okay, so now we have 6 parts of the line. Here's the first part, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. It's just like if I said split your pizza into 6 parts, you would split it like that. And we have to find 2/6. All right, count to the second jump, put a dot, and then write 2/6 under that. 1/6, 2/6. Here it is, right there. 2/6. 2/6. Okay, very good. Now on your own, you will now do number 1, number 4, and number 5. Interesting. Number 5. You know enough to be able to find 8/3. It might help you to go back and listen to the very beginning of this video when I went up. What did I go up to? I think like 9 halves. Yeah. So if you can find 9 halves with me, you'll be able to find 8/3. Think about where 1/3 is. That's a hint, right? Where is 1/3? And that's going to help you to figure out where 8/3 is going to be. All right, third graders. Our goal today, let's bring it back up on the screen. There it is. It is to be able to locate fractions on a number line. And it goes right with our standard today. I hope that you've enjoyed this. And I hope even more that you've learned something. If you need any help with number lines or fractions or numerators or denominators or any other thing of that nature, please let me know. And good luck.